Hello everyone and welcome back to another Trenton World 5 news video. You've actually got the webcam on this time, as just been recording. So, Trenton World 5 Euston, we have a Pendolino. So one of the most requested trains comes to Trenton World 5, Deluxe Edition, layering into the busy West Coast main line along with plenty of other trains and services. And you can see the nice artwork there. I don't know if you can see it, but I've actually got a poster behind me which I got from Dovetail of basically that, but in paper form. In this article, we will dive deep into the West Coast Mainline South's timetable, outline all the trains you'll get and opportunities for layering from other. That's the important bit, layering. So listen carefully. We don't need to. Well, feel free to have a look at that, but we don't really need to have a look now. Before we jump into the West Coast Mainline action, feel free to have a look at the diary they've done. Anyway, this is the route. So Euston up to Milton Keynes, which I know a lot of people have been like, oh, only to Milton Keynes. There's still like another 63 miles to go up to Birmingham. Well, there's always the possibility of a route extension. Like, I feel that might be like a future plan. I know they say, well, we don't do route extensions, but I mean, it would sort of make sense, wouldn't it? So maybe in future they'll do that. Train number 5 has gone from east to west, following on from the inclusion of a stretch of the East Coast Main Line in Trenton World 4. This time we've moved over to the equally impressive, historic and intensive West Coast Main Line. The arterial route connecting some of Britain's major cities to London has seen plenty of action from its initial opening through to today's services. Numerous amendments and lots has changed on the route. There's a 350 going up to Tring there. That's one of the sort of nice little services you can do. That'll be like 40 minutes long or so. Its existence is formed from a number of different railway lines that were built and then merged during the mid-19th century. 100 years later, between the 50s and 70s, the route was modernised and electrified to accommodate more advanced rolling stock, including some of the first tilting trains to operate in the UK, which was the Pendolino. All the way back in 2002. That's weird, isn't it? 22 years old, the Pendos, and you would sort of think they're like new trains, like the last sort of 5-10 years. So it's a bit like Electro Stars, really. You sort of look at them and you're like, they look new, but they're like 20 years old. There's Euston. The lighting looks quite cool there. Well, I don't know. At least to me, the lighting looks cool. Maybe it looks completely rubbish. I don't know. At the southern end, London Euston adds yet another London terminus to Trainsim Road. Hooray! After quite some time, actually. This important station has itself seen major changes throughout its history, and like other stations in the capital, sees the mainline railway mixed with the flow of underground and overground passengers. Place hosts over 30 million passengers a year, so it's not like a little station, it's quite big. Players with previous route add-ons featuring London Termini will be able to use Trenton Mile 5's new route hopping feature to hop between them. So you can hop to St Pancras, which from Euston is like a 2-minute walk. They're like really close together. In fact, that would be cool, wouldn't it? If they actually allowed you to walk between Euston and St Pancras, as they literally are, like 100 meters. Well, not 100 meters, but they are really close to one another. So Bakerloo line, you'll be able to get to Victoria and then Paddington. And then, Bakerloo line players will also be able to go to route hop between Queen's Park and Harrow and Wealdstone. So, that's cool. So that's sort of one of the layers, 72 stop, but I'm sure we'll get to that. We'll talk more extensively about route hopping. Okay, right, so beyond London, many stations within the Greater London area exist to accommodate the local and regional services heading out of Euston, before heading further north to towns that were massively impacted by the arrival of the railways. On the horizon, landmarks like the BT Tower and the Alexandra Road estate will be seen. Yeah, that is a funny old apartment or flats there, isn't it? Look at that sort of coming out there. Is that Kilburn High Road there? Maybe. The Wembley area sees many of the different types of railway lines meet, all overlooked by the iconic Wembley Stadium to the north. Nearby, Wembley Central and Stonebridge Park play host to underground and overground services, and Wembley Yard stables rolling stock ranging from long freight trains to the 390s. Between Cheddington and Leighton Buzzard is the conspicuous Bridgego Bridge, which the Great Train Robbery. And at the northern end is Milton Keynes Central, which is it's like some sort of American grid town post-war, as it says on there. Which actually in the 60s looked really cool, but now you sort of look at it and you're like, oh, that's not so cool. The trains, I like this one, 377, nice. A fleet of trains both new to Train Sim 5 and those seen in previous Train Sim routes are included in the West Coast Mainline, and Deluxe Edition players are also able to operate the sleek and modern Pendolino. So you've got the 350 Desiro, which makes it the third UK Desiro in the game. But I think there's actually 4 Desiros in the game. So I think the DBBR 642, I think that's, or was it 628? But one of them is a Desiro as well. New to Train Sim mode is the 350, adding yet another member of the larger Desiro family of trains to the game. First introduced in 2005, these trains operate various services from Euston, either beyond the map to locations such as Northampton and Birmingham. Saying that, Northampton would have actually been quite a cool endpoint to see the route, because it's not much further past Milton Keynes, and as it says, a lot of trains do terminate at Northampton. You've only got Wolverton and then Northampton. I mean, it's probably like another 10 miles, so it is quite a bit more, but yeah. And yes, cool. There's the cab. I don't know, there's a big, like, this bit here. It seems so empty, like a waste of space. Though not enabled for third rail use, these units can be adapted to work via this method. On all West Coast Mainline services, they are operated with overhead AC electric power. Back, I think it was in 2010 or 2009, Southern had a shortage of stock, so they used the 350 to run the West London line services between East Croydon and Milton Keynes. Obviously when it was London Midland branded, but it was Southern. Guard controls are available throughout the train. Because there's conductor mode coming. You've got the digital screen there. That's fine. Right. 390 Pendolino, which is the deluxe and special edition only. Running regional high-speed services throughout the West Coast Mainline is the much requested sleek tilting Marvo, that is the 390, born from the innovative tilting technology of groundbreaking test trains. These modern units have been long seen powering their way out of London and down to Britain's key towns and cities in the Midlands, North and all the way to Scotland. And it says down, obviously it is up the country, but in railway terms it's down, because any line going to London is considered up. If it goes away from London, it's down, even if it's going like north. Avanti West Coast and the operator in Train Sim World are the current custodians of these iconic trains, which are available for players of the deluxe and special edition of Train Sim 5. Additional services will bulk out the platforms of London Euston amongst the 350s and give players a totally different experience, passing through many of the intermediate stations at high speed. The trains will come in both 9 and 11 car formations. Digital display enhancements, okay. So there's the cab there. There's not really many new screenshots here. The 390 also comes equipped with a tilt authorization and speed supervision, or TAS, which is a system unique to the West Coast Main Line. Basically, if you go above the speed limit, it gets angry and starts blaring out an alarm. 377/2, nice. Looks too clean. I don't know, I don't really noticed that before, but having seen plenty of these at work only a few hours ago, it's like, that is really clean. Like, it's rare to find a 377 like that. There's like flies all over them, mud and muck all over it. So it's from that screenshot, it just looks a bit too clean. But there's a little bit of weathering on it. Also included in the West Coast Mainline route are the 377/2 units operated by Southern, unlike their contemporaries found on the previous Brighton Mainline and East Coastway routes. Yeah, this has a pantograph on it. There's another screenshot there. Yeah, I think there's a little bit more weather into it on sort of the gangway frame. The thing what bugged me with the fly doors is that the weathering was exactly symmetrical. So the bits of dust and dirt on this side were exactly the same on the other side. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be much more weathering on there. Bloody bloody blah. Yeah, so that's included with it. You also get the Class 66 as well. Yeah, so yeah, if you want some freight stuff, it will be on West Coast Mainline. However, if you want more freight stuff, you need to be on PC or NIC or current gen, which I suppose gives you a bit more. London Underground 1972 Mark II stock. An important aspect of the West Coast Mainline is its parallel running with a 7-mile stretch of the above-ground Bakerloo line. The 1972 stock is included in the route, allowing players to play along a short stretch of the Bakerloo line, even if they don't own any previous content. I like that. This provides a unique opportunity to drive trains with very different styles along the same route and adds more in-game traffic to what is one of the busiest stretches of line in the country. That's good. And obviously the 72 stock will be updated as well, so that's good. And yeah, you don't need the Bakerloo for that. So timetable, layers, scenarios and gameplay, bloody bloody blah. Yeah, okay, so these are the services. Yeah, so limited stock 350 services, all stock 350 services, 350 ECS movements, 377/2 services, which sadly are only out of Watford Junction. I think they've based it off the most recent timetable, so sadly we don't go to Hemel Hempstead anymore. Or we don't go to Milton Keynes anymore. That would have been cool to see a 2019 timetable, just then you could have Southern going up to Milton Keynes. Okay, yeah, you can see that. Nice. Right, additionals. There we go. This is the cool stuff. So yeah, if you get the deluxe and special edition, you'll get the Pendolino services. And if you've got the Goblin line, you'll also get the Class 710, which then runs the full services up the Watford DC line from Euston to Watford Junction. AI. Oh, 350-year music, Glasgow Central. Nice. Yes, there'll be a bit more on there. And then conductor mode, which I think we sort of have talked about already. But yeah, it's going to be a full separate game mode where you can be a guard, which is cool. So on the West Coast Main Line, it's within the 350. Coach from San Bernardino will have it, as well as the BR114 and Dostos and Frankfurt Fielder. Okay. 8 scenarios to play on the West Coast Main Line, 5 in the 350 and 3 for the 390, none in the 377. Okay, we'll sort of slowly. I just want to see if there's any nice screenshots. But yeah, the preview is tonight. Yeah, tonight the preview stream is, so feel free to hop into it. I think it's 7 p.m. BST, so one not to miss. But yeah, that is going to be it, everybody, for this news video. Hopefully everybody has enjoyed it. It's a bit more information about the West Coast Main Line. Links, future places, Discord, PayPal, merch store. Apart from that, thanks for coming in. Hopefully we'll see you next time. See you all. Take care. Bye, guys.